Good afternoon, I'm Sneha Koshi, and the top story that we continue to bring is what's happening in CBI court in the national capital. Well, let's give you all the updates of what we have till now. You're seeing visuals of all the protests of Aam Aadmi Party right outside the office. You also have inside CBI where the verdict actually may just have the court must have already started giving out the verdict. It was supposed to start the process at 3 o'clock. It's already 3 o'clock. Now, what do we know till now? Manish Sisodia, Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister, his lawyer has told the court that just because Manish Sisodia, according to the CBI, is not cooperating, that does not become the ground for his custody to be extended. We also know now, in a setback to the Aam Aadmi Party, though this was expected, Manish Sisodia's bail petition is not going to be heard today. It's going to be taken up on March 2nd. In terms of politics, what does this mean? How is the Aam Aadmi Party looking at it? But first, let me go to my colleague Priyanshi Sharma. Priyanshi, so important that this seems to be a setback, at least prima facie, for the Aam Aadmi Party with respect to the bail hearing of Manish Sisodia, who had filed for his bail on Friday itself, a day before his custody came to an end. But it's also on expected lines, even as the protests, there are massive protests outside the Aam Aadmi Party office.
That's right, Neha, and as you mentioned that it was expected that the bail plea might not be heard today, and that is what has happened. The bail plea will now be heard on March 10th at 2 p.m. Now, along with the bail, Manish Sisodia had also asked for him to be released for Holi. Now, he said that just release me for Holi. We know Holi is on Wednesday. And he said that I'll be back on March 9th. It's my liberty. Just release me for Holi. That's what Manish Sisodia said. But of course, his bail plea is only going to be heard on March 3rd. So the order also can be expected in just a short while from now. As we know that the CBI has asked for 3 more days of custody of Manish Sisodia, of the Delhi Deputy Chief Minister. And we'll just know in a few minutes from now whether the CBI will get 3 additional days of custody of Manish Sisodia. Now, here, let me also just point out that if at all CBI doesn't get Manish Sisodia's custody, let's consider the 2 possibilities that can happen from now on. If the CBI gets 3 more days of custody from the CBI courts, then Manish Sisodia will go back to the CBI headquarters and he'll stay there and he'll be further questioned by the CBI at the CBI headquarters. If he doesn't get the custody, that also doesn't mean that he will be let free or he'll be released. That simply means that he'll not be in CBI's custody, but he'll still be in jail. He'll be in the Tihar jail and not the CBI headquarters. Now, what's the difference also? In the CBI headquarters, the CBI can question Manish Sisodia anytime. But if he goes to the Tihar jail, then the CBI can question him only if they get special permission from the court. So that is a primary difference when it comes to the flow of the investigation. That's why the CBI wants him in his custody so they can question him whenever they want, and they can question him without getting any permission, special permission, and without going through all of those procedures in order to question him. So that's why the CBI wants his custody, so that he's in the CBI headquarters and the CBI can further question him on several experts. But if he goes to Tihar jail, as I said, they will have to get special permission if they want to question him. Now, what are the major fronts that the CBI is going to question him? What are the points that they are highlighting in the court? The CBI said that there are some missing documents that need to be traced back. They think there's some missing documents, and that's why we need to question Manish Sisodia further to be able to track and trace those missing documents which are crucial.
बिना किसी सबूत के आप किसी आदमी को जेल में रखेंगे और फिर जब पूरा ट्रायल पूरा हो जाएगा तब आप उसको बरी कर देंगे, मगर उस बरी होने का क्या फायदा होगा जब आपको इतने दिनों तक जो है उसको आप जेल में रख लेंगे? तो गलत है। कानून में ऐसे प्रावधान नहीं थे, मगर क्या है, कानून को तोड़ मरोड़ के केंद्र सरकारें कर रही है।
आगे क्या कुछ कदम होगा आप लोगों का? क्योंकि आपके वकील की तरफ से, उनके वकील की तरफ से दलील दी गई कि उनकी पत्नी की तबीयत खराब है और उन्हें होली मनाने का साथ में हक मिलना चाहिए।
देखिए, ये जो प्रोसेस है यही पनिशमेंट है, और इस प्रोसेस के अंदर एक आम आदमी को बहुत कम विकल्प हैं अपनी बात कहने के। न्याय प्रक्रिया इतनी लंबी है कि अच्छी से अच्छी दलील के बाद भी जो है अगर केंद्र सरकार उसके पीछे पड़ जाए तो कई दिनों तक और कई बार हफ्तों तक जो है आपको जेल में रखा जाता है, आपको परेशान किया जाता है। मगर जितना राजनीतिक तजुर्बा मुझे है, इस तरीके की चीजों से कभी जो है किसी केंद्र सरकार को फायदा नहीं हुआ और भारतीय जनता पार्टी को इसका बड़ा नुकसान जो है, राजनीतिक नुकसान होने वाला है।
आप ये बोले प्रोटेस्ट से शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से आवाज उठा रहे, तो कब तक बैठे रहेंगे आप ऐसे?
थोड़ी देर बैठेंगे, थक जाएंगे तो घर चले जाएंगे, फिर आ जाएंगे, फिर बैठेंगे। अब एक बात तो ये ना, एक मजलूम आदमी इस देश में कर क्या सकता है? यही कर सकते हैं, यही जो है थोड़े थोड़े जो राइट्स हैं वो हमें बाबा साहब देके गए हैं, उसी के ऊपर जो है कर रहे हैं, वरना हम क्या कर सकते हैं? तो बहुत ताकतवर केंद्र सरकार है, उसके आगे ये लोग क्या कर सकते हैं?
Right. That was the Aam Aadmi Party leader going on reacting to what is happening in the court and the protest by Aam Aadmi Party. And protests at the national capital here by the Aam Aadmi Party, massive show of strength for Aam Aadmi Party in support of Manish Sisodia. And I'm being joined by Aashutoshsrivastava, who's an advocate, as well as Kapil Madan, who's also an advocate. Thank you, both of you, for joining me. First, to you, Mr. Aashutoshsrivastava. First, let me ask this question very simply. With what is happening in terms of optics, outside the court and inside the court with what is happening legally, is this for BJP? How is BJP looking at this?
See, first of all, when the matter has already, when any investigation takes place after the FIR, the file is opened with the concerned trial court. And then the trial court has all the powers to look into, the bail or the remand or the police custodial remand or the magistrate custodial remand. So all these things come under the powers of the concerned trial court. If somebody is not happy with the trial court, can always challenge any of the orders to the higher court. So now here, I don't think there is any role of any political party as such. It is the court now which is already in picture, and the court has to see. If the court says that there has to be some more police custodial remand, so obviously CBI would be submitting certain documentations as to on what basis they want that custodial remand. And if the court is satisfied after hearing both the parties, both the sides, obviously the defense lawyer will argue that there is no any necessity of any custodial remand further. Everything has been seized, taken over or whatever. So accordingly, when CBI is saying no, they on serious note require the custodial remand because they have to further collect certain evidences from the accused. And if the accused is released, then it will it can tamper the evidences outside or the witnesses. So considering those aspects, it is the complete locus of the concerned trial court to look, the CBI court in this case, as to whether the custodial remand should be extended or not extended. If the custodial remand is not extended, then in that case only the accused can file the regular bail petition, which can be heard by the trial court on its own merits. So the court has to see whether the bail should be granted or not granted. If the bail is granted, obviously the accused can be released. If the bail is not granted, the accused can file to the higher court challenging the previous order of the trial court if he is not happy with that order. So I don't think there is any role of any political party.
Ashutosh, I have to interrupt you at this point. Apologies for that, but there's breaking news that is coming in. CBI has granted 2 days of custody to Manish Sisodia. So the custody has been extended, which means the CBI custody of Manish Sisodia has been extended by 2 days. The CBI had asked for 3 days of extension. Manish Sisodia has been given 2 days of extension. To you, Kapil Madan.
Yes, so, see, that was a very probable, thing for the court.
Kapil Madan, I'm sorry, let me just interrupt you. We have just managed to get to our reporter who is in the court. Let me get him first. Arvind, please go ahead. Tell us what are the details of 2 days of CBI custody being given to Manish Sisodia.
Sneha, Central Bureau of Investigation has sought for 3 days of further custody for Manish Sisodia after producing him before the court and the court has granted 2 days custody to Manish Sisodia. That is, he will be again produced before the CBI court on Monday. So that's when the CBI court will again hear his case. So CBI sought for 3 days, but the court has granted only 2 days. CBI, while producing him before the court, addressed the court, saying that Manish Sisodia is not cooperating with the investigation. The agency has also called in some witnesses. Those witnesses will have to be confronted with Manish Sisodia, and the agency also told the court that some of the missing documents have also been traced, and that's why they sought further custody of 3 days, but the court has granted only 2 days custody. That means that Manish Sisodia will be produced again before the court on Monday, wherein the court will also take up the bail plea of Manish Sisodia on 10th at around 2 p.m. after CBI response to the bail plea of Manish Sisodia.
Right, Arvind Gunashekhar, thank you for those details. And so let me get back to Kapil Madan. Please continue. You were responding to what has happened in the court. Do you see this as a setback?
I won't call it as a setback. In fact, if you look at our criminal procedure code, CBI or any investigating agencies has the power to get remand up to 15 days from the date of arrest. The first 15 days, because after that, as per law, they can't have, any accused in the police custody. And investigation, as Mr. Ashutosh also said, that investigation is the prerogative of the investigating agencies. So they have full right to investigate any matter. And since the court has extended the custody, I would presume that court must have defer the arguments on the bail on this basis only, because there is no point when the court has decided that the custody needs to be extended for 2 days so as to give more opportunity to the investigating agencies to gather more information, to collect more evidence. So I believe that hearing on the bail application is also deferred. And I'm also a little amused. The ground, one of the supporters of the ask was heard saying that they were seeking 2 days of interim bail on the ground that he wanted to celebrate Holi. To my understanding, this is an absurd proposition, because if you apply this proposition, then entire jail should be out to celebrate Holi. So that was not a very plausible ground, not a valid ground to seek any interim bail, and the court has rightly rejected that argument and has granted 2 days extension as sought by the CBI.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Kapil Madan, for those initial comments. But Aashutoshsrivastava, with what has happened inside the court now, Manish Sisodia did make an appeal that just because the CBI is claiming that I'm not cooperating, that cannot be a ground for the custody to be extended, while the CBI claimed that they need to confront him with witnesses. And he has been granted 2 days of custody, 2 days more of custody. How do you look at this, Ashutosh?
See, as I had said just now, the trial court will see the submission of both the sides. On one hand, in this case, the CBI will ask for custody if it feels that there is furthermore investigation which is required to be conducted, and they need him for interrogation. And on the other side, the defense will always say that the custody is not required because the investigation, whatever was required to be conducted, has been done. Everything has been seized and recovered. Now, in this case, after considering both the sides, it is the court's discretionary power, how to utilize it. Now, when the CBI asked for 3 days, the court has granted 2 days custodial remand. Now, after 2 days, again, when the matter will come up before the court, again, the CBI may say that they need further extension, but it will be the court which will decide whether there should be any reasonable extension or not, whether there is any concrete reason to extend such kind of custodial remand or not. So here it is the court which will go with the available documentation and the submission which will be made by the CBI and also by the defense. And considering both the aspects, the court will decide what is to be done.
Right.
Once the court is of the view that, okay, there is no need of now extension of further custodial remand, then in that case, he will be able to at least file the bail petition, which will be decided on its merit. But
which in this case is going to be heard on March 10th. Ashutosh and Kapil, please stay on. We've got our reporter on the ground. Saurabh Shukla joins us. Saurabh, with what has happened at the CBI court today, how is the politics around this going to pan out, with the protests only likely to intensify outside the Aam Aadmi Party office?
Let's speak about the technical aspects first. In the court, Manish Sisodia has said that CBI is continuously asking the same question, which is causing him mental. This is his mental exploitation. That's what the lawyer of Manish Sisodia said in the court. Court has clearly said that court is giving 2 days custody of Manish Sisodia, and CBI should finish their interrogation. And one more thing, we may say that ED, after 2 days, ED might file the remand copy for Manish Sisodia. So that is also going to be a case. We have to wait for that also. But Manish Sisodia has left from court, and from any time from now he will reach CBI headquarters. For 2 days CBI will again question him, and as we were talking earlier also, in this whole case, approver, his name is Dinesh Arora. He was initially one of the accused in this whole case. Later he became the approver, he became the witness in the favor of CBI and ED. He is the main witness, and because of him the case of CBI and ED has got strong. That is why they have arrested Manish Sisodia. In this case, tomorrow we may see CBI will call Dinesh Arora, and Dinesh Arora will be confronted with Manish Sisodia in CBI headquarters, because Dinesh Arora is a liquor businessman in Delhi. He approached Manish Sisodia saying that you formulate a new liquor policy. I will get the liquor players. You formulate this liquor policy according to our needs, and then give us the work, and we will give you.
I'll just get back to you, Saurabh.
हमारी लड़ाई न्यायालय में, सड़क पर, संसद में, हर जगह जारी रहेगी। आम आदमी पार्टी का एक एक कार्यकर्ता, हमारा संघर्ष आगे भी चलता रहेगा। न्यायालय का हम लोग सम्मान करते हैं। न्यायालय का जो फैसला आया है उसके बारे में जो वकील साहिबान है वो बताएंगे, लेकिन ये मैं जरूर कहूंगा कि नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार की तानाशाही अपने चरम पर पहुंच चुकी है। देश और दिल्ली के 2 सबसे योग्य और अच्छे मंत्री, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की सरकार के 2 सबसे योग्य मंत्री, जिन्होंने शिक्षा और स्वास्थ्य में अनुकरणीय काम करके दिखाया, आज उनको मोदी जी ने गिरफ्तार किया है। जो मनीष सिसोदिया लाखों बच्चों को अच्छी शिक्षा दे रहे हैं, उनको जेल में डाल दिया। जो अडानी लाखों करोड़ का घोटाला कर रहा है, उसके जहाज में मोदी जी घूमते हैं। तो ये फर्क इस देश के एक एक नागरिक को समझ में आ रहा है, आम आदमी पार्टी के एक एक कार्यकर्ता को समझ में आ रहा है। लेकिन मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहता हूं कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी, आपकी इन कार्रवाइयों से न तो आम आदमी पार्टी का काम रुकेगा।
And that's Aam Aadmi Party reacting to what has happened inside the court. Kapil Madan, so now with Manish Sisodia's custody extended for 2 days and his bail only going to be heard on 10th of March, how is the CBI going to be looking at the next 2 days?
See, the focus of, and for that matter, focus of any investigating agency when the accused is on the remand is to gather information, gather evidence so that they can make a watertight case against the accused, and they make a strong case against all the accused persons. So that's the ultimate objective which any investigating agency always follows during the investigation. Now here we have a case, and Aashutoshji was also referring that CBI, more often always makes a claim while seeking or extending a remand order is that the accused is not cooperating with the investigation, and we see this argument being taken as a standard argument while opposing almost every bail or seeking an extension of remand in almost every case. So I agree with Aashutoshji here that CBI also needs to show and convince to the court that what are the specific allegations, what are the specific situation and circumstances on the basis of which CBI is forming an opinion that the accused is not cooperating with the investigation. So non-cooperation of the investigation could also, entitle CBI to get further remand even after the expiry of 2 days. So the remand can go up to 15 days, initial 15 days. So it is, it would be interesting to see. To my understanding would be that even after the expiry of 2 days, CBI would come and seek for further remand for maybe 2 or 3 days.
Right. Ashutosh, the CBI saying that Manish Sisodia is not cooperating, asked for 2 days more of custody, but also says that they need to confront him with witnesses. It's about confessions that they are looking at. But on the other hand, if you look at what Sisodia's lawyer did argue in the court, he said that look at what was in day one and what is it today. It's almost the same in the case. CBI has not really been able to produce anything further than what it had on day one.
Yes. See, non-cooperation in the investigation, it is not only that the argument will only convince the court. CBI must have shown certain concrete reasons for the court to believe that there was non-cooperation in the investigation. And it is not that the court would have given the extension of custody only on that particular ground. There would have been some other concrete reasons for the court to believe that there is further requirement of extension of the custodial remand. And considering that aspect, the court would have extended. And as my learned friend has also rightly said, that after 2 days again the court will see what is the CBI going to ask, whether the CBI says that now we don't need the custodial remand, or the CBI is gonna say that no, we further need the custodial remand. If they say so, that they need the further extension of custodial remand, then the CBI will have to give some concrete reasoning and grounds for asking so. And if the court is again convinced that the grounds being asked because there would be some further improvement in the investigation in these 2 days, and during this course of investigation, if the CBI feels that there are further certain documentation or the witnesses who are to be examined based on the statement or the further investigation in 2 days, so considering all these aspects, the court will further decide. Now, so far as the legality is concerned, the accused has every right to challenge even the extension of the custodial remand before the higher court. But obviously, I think it will be very difficult for any accused to, even challenge within 2 days. So, we will have to wait for 2 days and we'll have to see what CBI is doing in these 2 days. And if the CBI feels further that extension is very, very necessary, then the court has to see whether the extension is required or not required. That no, there is necessity to extend the remand, it can be extend the remand, as at least 15 days. If the court is of that view, okay, then only he can, his bail petition can ever be heard. Unless and until the custodial remand is not over and he is not given the magistrate custodial remand, his bail petition cannot be heard only by any court. So we'll have to see that aspect of the matter, so far as the bail issue is concerned.
Kapil Madan, you have a point to make, but even as you make that, let me also come to you asking this question: how relevant or important is this fact that Sisodia did raise the point of liberty in the court, and he said, "Allow me to come out for a day for Holi, and I will return on 9th of March." Now, how important is a appeal like this in usual circumstances when cases of corruption are being being probed against an individual or a minister in this case?
Well, Sneha, I found it very amusing, and I have no hesitation in saying that this was an absurd plea taken before the court, because as I said earlier, if you want to extend this kind of a benefit to any accused who's facing a trial, then entire jail, entire every prisoner will seek an equality, and you would say that it should be applied to me also, and I should also be entitled to celebrate Holi with my family, etc. So I mean, this was an absurd, and to my understanding, I'm not sure why this kind of an argument was made, because it's a critical stage, and
Manish Sisodia actually raising a point of, this is my liberty. That's an important statement coming as it were.
Sneha, in any criminal matter, once the person is in custody, then the issue, every bail petition has an issue of liberty. There are, hundreds of bail petitions which are listed before, courts across, Delhi, in the entire country. So the fact that you are arguing on the bail, if someone is in the custody, there is an issue of liberty. Your liberty is not, more significant than, liberty of any other individual who is facing a trial.
Right.
The point I am trying to make here is that the courts are, otherwise also very conservative while granting bail when there are economic offences are concerned, because these kind of offences are taken as a different class, and the court usually adopts a very conservative approach insofar as grant of bail is concerned. Now, here you have a case where Mr. Sisodia had been granted a 5 days custody and further 2 days custody has been given. Yes. But there could be another, after 2 days, once the custody gets over, there could also be one possibility, because the bail is being
30 seconds custody.
Yes. The court may also, reject, if there is any extension request, the court may reject the extension.
I'm afraid I'm being told this very shortly that we are totally over with time. Thank you, Ashutosh, and thank you, Kapil, for joining us on this discussion. Time for a short break.